So you've decided to join us? Very well. We welcome you. Don't be afraid. Soon, you will know. Know just how very small and lonely human existence has been. Join us. Paradise is here. Come with us.
To do so.
Seriously wounded. Now finish him off, for his sake as well as ours.
The captain's awake.
Captain, try to... After you lost consciousness, it is apparent that the unknown life form... Excuse me, the dread dust... At this rate, in the not-too-distant future, there is only one way to stop the infection from spreading.
Seems...
I say we kill this captain.
Hey, now hold on. The captain saved all of us. If it wasn't for the
You want to see someone you care that much about?
I don't think we need to eliminate...
Why do you say that?
Because I believe...
Well, belief isn't gonna stop an infection. If we do let the captain continue...
In that case, I can present a figure.
You're infected?
Allow me to... At one point while I was participating in the care... At that time, I temporarily quarantined all of my networks to protect myself. As a result, my awareness...
Why are you only telling us this now?
No. Like the captain, when we came into contact with Seth, our countermeasures were disabled. And the dread dust... At the same time, I was able to access all information. Data does not exist. This is your world. Everything exists within a single timeline. Beginning several... The cause of this time loop is... The Lord of Dust appears to be an aggregate of dread dust. To satisfy the dust's instinct to propagate, continuing to exist in that world, the Lord of Dust then travels back to the past through another wormhole, repeating the process. From analyzing the memories of the dread dust, it appears its origin can in fact be traced to the invention of The only way to stop this, fortunately, of all the temporal axes in which the Lord of Dust exists, given the state it is in right now, if we use Sahelanthropus's armament, namely, however, the destruction, assuming the cause of all loops is the Lord of Dust, there is an extremely high probability that its destruction will mean the coordinates for the wormhole in other words, destroying it may mean...
No.
But please, you needn't... If you prepare the weapons for the attack, then once you...
But... Virgil?
Massive gravitation... Oh my. My presumption is...
At some point, it will likely come to attack our base of operations. That is, base camp. Estimated time of attack is 11 days from now.
You must finish your preparation. The railgun will only require some standard repairs. But the issue is the other weapon.
The greater part of these weapons systems are dependent. However, these metallic archaea have had to alter their composition in order to survive so with the metallic archaea having adapted in composition, in order to use the...
That won't be a problem. Looks like all the time we put into Sahelanthropus.
Where are they right now? Sorry.
It's alright. They got taken out by... I know where they were.
Hey, thanks for sticking with me through the post-death cutscene. I figured I'd keep it in, considering that if this game was better produced and had a higher production value, that whole text conversation would have been an actual cutscene, and that would have made more sense as to why I kept it in. Anyway, here we are at Konami's biggest fuck you in this game, beyond the very fact that they're selling it, and that they're charging $10 for multiple save slots, but honestly, if you're trying to share this game with other people, I think you got a bit more of a problem than the fact that you spent $10 on a save slot. Anyway, here is Wanderer Seth, the boss fight that I'm pretty sure literally no one expected, mostly because it comes after the 15-minute defense. The 15-minute defense is going to be the infamous mission of Metal Gear Survive because of how horrendously difficult that it was, requiring a lot of players to go through the wildlands, trying to prep as best they can, and trying to get firearms together, better armor, trying to figure out the armor-equipped accessories to their armor so that they can carry more bullets, and ultimately having to rewire their brains around how the game expects combat to work in order to survive this one. Otherwise, you could have gotten lucky and picked up the machine gun turret blueprint from the main sandbox, and then it wouldn't have been a problem because those things have like 150 bullets in them, can insta-kill these wanderers, and just everything's instantly solvable with the machine gun turret. Otherwise, you have to play it legitimately and have to become aggressive, whereas every other combat encounter you've had to bend defensive because you were fighting zombies. Yeah, big fuck you to that. There's literally not a drink of water between the 15-minute defense and the Wanderer Seth boss fight. You don't get access to the main sandbox. You don't get any new health tools. You're gonna have to go scrounge anything you can from the Africa map in order to have a decent chance at Wanderer Seth. That's not saying that under normal circumstances Wanderer Seth would be difficult to defeat. I mean, he's a really easy boss fight with a bunch of bullshit attack patterns, but other than that, it's a very simple boss fight. It's just that Konami is dicking around the players by not giving them any of their health back, any health items, or really any items at all between the 15-minute defense, which took up all of their resources, unless they got really lucky and were picking up all the blueprints from the main sandbox. And then they lead you straight up with this. It's completely ridiculous. Mostly because Wanderer Seth mostly gets hits on you just by, unblockable jumping attacks that can come from anywhere. It's an annoying as shit boss fight because the attacks aren't really consistent. You can't get consistent damage on Wanderer Seth, and it mostly feels like it's just a bunch of randomness cobbled together until the game tells you that Wanderer Seth is going to die. Like I said, if this was just a boss fight in the middle of the game, it wouldn't have been a fucking problem because we would have been prepped for it. We are super unprepared here, which is what makes it complete bullshit, because a couple of attacks from Seth with no resources for you, no food, no water, no what have you, and you're fucking done. And trust me, any combat encounter in a video game where you can get killed in 2 to 3 hits is complete horseshit. No matter what game or franchise, that is a terrible idea, and honestly, you really should feel bad for having to include that. Also, Wanderer Seth is including firearms in this game, which ultimately makes things worse. Doesn't have a tell for when he pulls out the firearms, and trying to dodge or block a shotgun blast from Wanderer Seth is nearly impossible. It really does feel like it's just up to the random number generator to get this done, and even though it pissed me off so much to having to try this boss fight multiple times, I do have to give Konami credit. Wanderer Seth has a great boss design. Not really the greatest circumstance. I mean, he literally just kidnapped Chris to get the commander here for some unknown reason, and even when the reason presents itself to the player, it doesn't make all that much sense. What was Wanderer Seth trying to do? Awaken the commander's dust corruption so that he would turn to their side? Why? Like, this is a guy who's running on a zombie hive mind. He shouldn't really have these goals by himself, and ultimately it just doesn't make any goddamn sense, like a lot of the mechanics and shit that tries to get established in this Konami game. You really do want to just bang your head against this boss fight a few times, and just try to get it out of the way as best you can on the limited resources that you have available to you, and just get out of the way, because it's just like, this entire boss fight is the equivalent to Konami literally flipping you off. Because the 15-minute defense is the only mission in the game that locks you out of the main sandbox, meaning that you have no access to the resources that you've been building up this entire game. And this is the only point that you can teleport back to that sandbox, which means that it's 15-minute defense, then this, then you can go get your goddamn resources. It's literally a horrendously difficult mission and then a kick in the balls. Like, Konami, how can I even manage to say how much I fucking hate that you did this? Because this is fucking obnoxious and cruel. Actual cruelty in game design. Yeah, you can go screw your head into a 2x4 for all I goddamn care.